Lord,
upon me
upon me
until death.
until death.
That's forever.
All the challenges you ever go through, you're not going to face no more like this one. It's going to be the biggest challenge and the biggest task this you ever take up. You know, trial come from every side. But when this trial comes, just hold up your hand high in the air and say hallelujah anyhow. Never let problem get you down. No, this is the biggest task you're about to take up. You never face no other task like this. And when it comes to you and Christ, sometimes it's your blood will start running in your house. The same look up in the way you sit down in the car there. And that's where it will start from. It can't start from your husband. It can't start from you too. But remember this vow until death.
Stand up. Stand up on your foot.
You are married to Christ now.
Hold him.
Yes, man. Come on.
You are married to Christ now. You know, so this is married until death. In sickness and everything.
Alright? Don't stick up, just relax. That's all, man. Go down.
No. Hey, no. Hey, don't go under the water. You don't want that. Stop your breath.
Stop your breath.
Man.
Just relax and go down, man.
Relax.
We hold it.
We hold up my breath.
Just go down.
Go down. Take him out.
Hey!
In the name of Jesus. Come on.
Hold on.
Hold on. You see it? Hold on. In the name of Jesus.
In the name of Jesus. In the name of Jesus. In the name of Jesus.
You can't swim now.
Where Bishop there?
Christ God Almighty.
Bishop on the water. Jesus
Christ God Almighty.
Glory to God. In the name of Jesus. Jesus, the blood of Jesus.
Bishop on the water.
In the name of Jesus.
Jesus Christ. Bishop on the water, yes. So make talk to them and you're not here. Bishop on the water, yes. Bishop on the water, yes. God. You not talk sometimes, you know. This is what I'm saying. Yes, sir. Bishop. Right here, sir. Bishop, tell you.
What about say? Irie News Network are the best.
Welcome to Irie News Network. A special welcome to my returning listeners, and welcome also to those tuning in for the first time. Please watch the video to the end, and remember to like, share, and subscribe. Click on the notification bell so you can be notified when a new video has been released.
Christ God Almighty.
Bishop
on the water.
Jesus
Christ God Almighty.
Glory to God. In the name of Jesus. Jesus, the blood of Jesus.
Bishop on the water. In the water, yes, sir.
In the name of Jesus.
Jesus Christ. Bishop on the water, yes, sir. So make talk to them and in our ear. Bishop on the water, yes, sir. Bishop on the water, yes, sir. God. You not talk sometime, you know. This is what I'm saying. Yes, sir.
Bishop under the water. Anybody see Bishop? The lady stand up and looking in the water and say, Bishop, see Bishop underneath the water. Bishop, tell me if anybody see Bishop, because I want to know what happened to Bishop. Right? So I hear everybody talking and I watch the video, but I still can't see Bishop come back from underneath the water. So if anybody know if Bishop come back from underneath the water, just drop it in the comment section so I can know if Bishop has been resurrected. So PNP has kept their yearly conference, and I hear people calling it the PNP's criminal conference, because on that platform there were alleged criminals. You would have had the self-proclaimed Obia man, L.A. Lewis. The last time we checked, Obia is illegal in Jamaica. Then you would have had the ex-convict, Vybz Kartel. He was behind bars for over 13 years for the alleged taking out of a lizard. And then you would have had his lawyer, Isat Buchanan, who was twice convicted for carrying the white lady. So people are saying, what is this? Is this what the PNP has resorted to? Is it a popularity contest? Is it that they think that they are going to gain votes through this strategy? And if this is the strategy that they are using, where is the country heading? I don't hear anybody talking about what Marky G had to say. I don't hear anybody talking about what any of the other presenters had to say. All I hear is people talking about Vybz Kartel, the fact that Vybz Kartel was there. So tell me, what kind of policies are they going to put in place? Are they going to talk about how to sell clocks when they win the election? I would like to know, and so would other persons. Take a look at this video and tell me if this is what you would expect from a yearly conference from any of the political parties.
Wow, so that Kartel appearance at the PNP conference just has everybody talking. PNP, of course, is defending it. Other people are criticizing it. But I just want to share with you a thought from one of my analysts on our post-conference debate panel on TVJ, Clive Mullings, who is, himself a former JLP cabinet minister. But he said, look, after conference, you want everybody to be talking about the party leader's speech, what them say, their vision for Jamaica, how the plan them sound, if people buying into that, just supposed to drum up support for him and for the party. And Clive say, so what does this do? Because all people now are going to be talking about is Kartel at the conference. So what do you think, and what did you think about it? Video coming up, I think, so let me...
Man, they say when it rains, it pours. Because if that wasn't bad enough, our Prime Minister is under investigation by the Commission of Enquiry as it relates to bank accounts or assets that has not been declared, right? And so he is saying that he has been wrongfully accused, and so I think he's taking Mark Golding to court based on some utterances that he has made. Now, I don't have the full 100 of everything that has been going on, and so I tuned into 411 so that I could have a better understanding of what is happening. So 411 did a breakdown of what the Commission of Enquiry has uncovered, and this is what she had to say.
Creation of a situation of conflict of interest by Mr. Holness appointing his business partner and co-investor in his personal real estate company, Mr. Norman Brown, to be chairman of two important public bodies, the Urban Development Corporation, UDC, and the Housing Association of Jamaica, HAJ, both of which fall under Mr. Holness's portfolio responsibility as minister, and both of which operate in the real estate sector.
So, I thought you were going to say something else. They are coming from a company that's dealing in real estate that's associated with Andrew Holness. They were appointed by him to be on the board of these companies that own substantial real estate, and those companies happen to be in the office of the Prime Minister, and they deal in real estate. So, I thought you were going to tell us that they had transferred some properties to the company that they are coming from. So, you just leave that out there? Now, let me ask you something, Mark Golding. You look like, say, you now remember things, but people have a very long memory in this country. And we all seem to recall that when you became leader of the opposition, who was it that you appointed to the one seat that was available in the Senate? A man named Peter Bunting. You know him? Where you know him from? Do you know a man named Peter Bunting? Mr. Golding? Mr. British? If you know such a man, where you know him from? Now your business partner. Now your friend. Batterman chamber, everything him into you into. Now two of you are shareholders in Rerun. Now two of you are shareholders in the various proven. Now two of you coming from Derring, Bunting and Golding. Now two of you, when you were in Derring, Bunting and Golding in the 1990s, get rich off of those deals that you were getting out of the Ministry of Finance. Now the two of you. It was you and Bunting and on the activities of making the party look divided in 2016 that caused the PNP to lose the election. Not the two of you. Another two of you, they sit on a WhatsApp group with the other cronies and traitors plotting against the PNP to lose the 2020 general election because you don't know Peter Phillips would have to resign, and with no fake groups who could elevate themselves to the leadership, to the position that you're in. Not the two of you, they do that. So when you come tell people about this man happened to be in business partner and him in the UDC, and the UDC dealing with properties like the company that they are coming from. You don't see a problem with that. We see a problem with that. But you don't see a problem with that. You're trying to play politics, score cheap political points. Mr. Golding, you're not the messenger for this message. Not at all. Let us continue to listen to what he has to say, though.
Mr. Holness has placed Jamaica, our beloved country, and our cherished democracy in a dangerous and untenable situation. His integrity issues cannot be resolved, partly because of the baffling complexity of his personal financial affairs. He operated no less than 28 bank accounts. 28. He operated no less than 28 bank accounts. 28.
I just had to play it twice because even though he said it twice, I wanted to make sure that you're hearing him right. Now, what did I say in my caption? And you came here to let me show you. I asked you to come and let me show you. And what did I say in my thumbnail, in my caption? Andrew Holness has 9 bank accounts. Commission report actually said. First of all, we're going to begin where it says the table 2, summary of bank accounts based on statutory declarations submitted, including addendum for the year 2021. So this is found on page 32 of the Integrity Commission's report. Now I'm showing you this because we need to get down to look at these bank accounts that Andrew Holness had actually declared in his 2021 statutory declaration. And you will see the balances in these accounts. Anywhere you see it blank, it means he did not submit these accounts in his statutory declaration. And these would have been the 3 accounts that he would have been flagged for when they called him in initially in the first investigation about these 3 accounts that was not included, which they are saying that he should have included, whether they're dormant, whether he's on somebody else's account, doesn't matter. Once your name appears on the account, you must declare it. All you have to do is explain that the account is not yours, and so on and so forth. Since our subject area today that we are going to discuss are these bank accounts, we're going to look at the ones that he actually declared. Now, as you can see, it says in the first column, assets, bank and investment accounts. Then you see 2021 received, March 29, 2022, and updated September 8, 2022. So the statutory declaration for 2021 was submitted March 29, which is in time, right? And but he had to update it in 2022 September, just a few months later, when they found that he had these accounts. Now, the 3 accounts in question are the 3 at the bottom of the page. The NCB current account, number 62, make a note of that. So should I. Then you have the First Global checking account, number 7, and the First Global Euro account, number 74. So if we focus on these 3 accounts, you will see that when he submitted his 2021 declaration, they were not on it. You will observe, though, that when he updated the 2022 declaration, the one for the NCB, $258 is there. That is number 62. And again, he submitted it again for, it said 2021 received February 23. Oh, yes, he had updated it again, right? And he had the same balance. The checking account now, number 7, with the First Global Bank had $3,200 in it. I can tell you, I am a customer of First Global. You have an account like that, not doing anything, they're going to close it. Well, that's what you think, right? It's dormant. You can actually reactivate it, but you have to go through a process, just as if you're opening a bank account, same process, and then you put in a deposit, and that's how you reinstate it. He had to reinstate it before he can actually close it. So those accounts were abandoned. He just left it like, oh, I would leave it. Unfortunately, in his position, he can't do that. He has to actually try and remember where he has had his accounts. Well, with this thorough investigation that they did at the Integrity Commission, he no longer has to do that. They found all of it for him. So that's it. Now, in where it said that it was updated in September 8, 2022, you notice that the First Global accounts at the bottom, they are blank as well. But in February 27, 2023, when he went and submitted now an amended declaration, statutory declaration, he included all 3. Now, I think he closed these 2 because those are his. I don't know what he did about the number 62 yet, the NCB current account, but we'll soon find out. I want you to pay also close attention to another blank area. It says Jamaica National Bank. It's a Jamaican dollar account, number 18, and that is blank, which means that they found a bank within his name but it's no longer open. That's a closed account, an account that he closed before 2021. You see that now? Great. So he has an active bank accounts with BNS. He has 4 accounts listed here. As you can see, they are active. You can see money going in and out. The one for the checking account, that remains the same. Those, nothing wrong with those. So he has number 485. He has number 85, which is a checking account with BNS. And he has 3 savings accounts with BNS, 2019 and 3. Now, 2019 would suggest that he opened them simultaneously. And we don't know if he owns that solely or not, but that is not what we are concerned about now. You will notice also that there is a Jamaica National Bank US dollar savings account, number 89. He left the minimum balance in it, 1516. So it's not the account is active, but he's not using it. It appears. And then now he has a US dollar checking account with Citibank. You see, he has a lot of money in it, 713,000 US. And he also has a NCB savings account, 29, and NCB US dollar account, which is also active. And the 3 at the bottom, he would either remove his name or close the 2 that belongs to him. I think the 258 is the account that he has with, let me see, I believe that maybe the account with the person who is from his constituency. Let us move along. But before we hustle along, as you can see, we can count the accounts. This was what he declared in 2021. So we can actually count the accounts that are active. So you have the 4 BNS accounts, right? The Jamaica National account, we're going to count that for now. That's 5. Then you have the Citibank, which is 6. The NCB, the 2 NCB, that's 7 and 8. So that's 8 accounts that I counted here. You count 8 too? Let's do it again. You have the 4 BNS. The Jamaica National is 5. Those 2 Jamaica National Bank accounts are they're closed. Then now you have the Citibank, which is 6, and the 3 NCB, the 2 NCB, the savings in Jamaican dollars and the savings in US dollars. So that's 8 accounts that we count here, right? Let's look at now the schedule that was prepared by Stevenson, who is the Director of Investigations. And that is what is now in the report that was tabled in Parliament. We're not going by what people say now. We are going straight to the facts of what was presented to the Parliament. So we now move along to the schedule of the accounts that he has, that they found and that he declared, and what they found combined. It says here, Appendix 2, summary of assets, liabilities, and income based on statutory declarations submitted. And you find that at page 164. So it is a summary of his assets, his liabilities, and income based on the statutory declaration submitted. And they are counting from 2018 and 2022. So this is what he had in his statutory declaration. This was what he filed and he prepared and submitted to them. And they had certified 2018, 2019, and 2020. It's 2021 and 22 and 2023 them holding up. So they are telling you now what his assets are. So let's now look closer. His assets fall into 6 categories. First, you have the bank accounts. It says bank and investment accounts. Those are the bank accounts. And the bank accounts were split in 2. Separated in 2. You have the bank accounts that are in Jamaican dollars and the bank accounts that are in US dollars. Then you have a category for investments accounts. And these investments are shares and bonds. And he held those with the National Commercial Bank Capital Market, Mayberry, and Scotia Bank. So it is very important for you to understand that these accounts are accounts that are held with investment companies. That's the purpose. The money is deposited in those accounts. They then buy shares and bonds on their customers' instructions. So those are not bank accounts. All right? Different thing altogether. Bank accounts are those that are listed as what we would ordinarily call commercial banks. Bank of Nova Scotia, Jamaica National now has a bank, NCB, First Global Bank, First Caribbean Bank, all of those are the commercial banks. That's what we call banks, and those are the bank accounts, right? The other accounts are investment accounts that are held with investment houses. You follow that? Good. Next category we have is the business investments. Now, the business investments now are the investments made in the companies that he owns. And what is it that those companies have? They hold his lands and the house up at Beverly Hills, right? So ADMAT as well as Imperium, they own those properties. ADMAT first, and then when he closed ADMAT, he opened Imperium, and Imperium is now the owner of the house up in Beverly Hills, as well as another piece of land that he has as well. So that's what the business investments represent. Those are not bank accounts. Those are simply investments of real estate that was transferred and is now held by Imperium, which is his company. Good, so we get that out the way. No bank accounts there either. Then the next category is motor vehicles. They don't own any motor vehicles. You can imagine why, because at the end of his tenure, the vehicle that he's driving, I think he pays a little knockdown price for it and it will be his. I'm not sure if the Prime Minister actually buys his vehicle or he has some special arrangement where he probably gets his, like in the United States. I don't know. But I should also point out that in terms of the business investments, they are separated into two categories. One in Jamaican dollar and one in US dollar. And these are the value of the assets we're talking about now. These are not cash in banks. You understand? Good. Now, after motor vehicle now, the last category is insurance. He has several life insurances. And that may be because he borrows. Usually, when you borrow, they ask you to open a life insurance for that purpose, to secure the loan income to you. They can always go collect the money, that sort of thing. It's possible that some of the life insurance may also have been taken out for his family, for the benefit of his family. So there you have it. Now, let's get down to the real business of why we are here. So now we know how it is separated, how the assets are separated. After that, you have the liabilities. All right, good. So let's look now at the bank accounts. As we see before, you will see, let me start with the ones that I'm highlighting. Now, you will notice the ones I have in light blue. I'll read it for you. The Jamaica National Bank mortgage account, and the account number is 85. As you can see, in 2018, it was active. It had money in it, 208,000. Then 2 million was added in 2019. Then 4-point-something million was added in 2020, and there is none in 2021 and none in 2022. It was a mortgage that he had, and if it's a mortgage, it would have been on his property, either the house or the land that he owns. And he would have taken it out with Jamaica National. And what it says here, he did not declare anything more in the 2021 declaration or 2022. And since Mr. Stevenson, the Director of Investigation, is not complaining about it, not making any, saying that he left anything off, we must now conclude that those accounts were closed. He paid it off, right? When you look at the Jamaica National Bank, the Jamaican dollar account, number 18, which is, it had money in it too, and then all of a sudden in 2021, it's closed as well. Now, we know that some institutions, in order for you to get a mortgage from them, you have to have an account with them. So I guess the money will be paid into the account, and then when the time comes, they would, withdraw it and pay the mortgage. That sort of thing. Then below that now, you see the two NCB accounts. Now, that number that says 62. The first one says NCB Savings Jamaican Dollar account. It's account number 29. Account number 62 is the one that he had left off. As you can see, when you go across until you get to 2021, you see the $258. You remember that one? So that one is blank. He declared it for 2021, declared it for 2022, the same $258. So for all intents and purposes, the account number 29 for NCB was active in 2020. He drew out all the money out of that and more or less left it abandoned. I suspect the reason why it reduced is because them start now to take money out of it because of inactivities. All right, so now you see the ones that are highlighted now in blue below the yellow one, right? Well, no, let's deal with the yellow one. What is highlighted in yellow is the two First Global Bank accounts, the checking account with 3,200 and the one with the euro, the savings, the ones that were dormant. These are the two that were dormant, and he cleared that up and closed the account. That is what the DI said as well. So those two are not to be counted as his accounts. And you would agree with me, wouldn't you, that the Jamaica National Bank accounts that he closed is also no longer an account of his. Remember now, we're talking about the present tense. They are saying that he operated 28 bank accounts. Well, these 4 accounts that were closed, they would fall part of that 28 bank accounts that he operated. In other words, he's no longer operating them, but at some point he did. That's what they're creating excitement about. That he had 28 accounts over the course of his 52 years in life. Some were his and others he was associated with. You see the language that they use? Associated with. What does that mean? So, we take out the 2 Jamaica National Bank, we take out the First Global Bank, we leave the 2 NCB. Then below now you see another highlighted sky blue area. It says First Global Bank Savings, and it's a Jamaican account, and it's number 72, and it's none of the ones that he has, so that he would have in his own name. As you can see, it appears as though he opened the account in 2019, put 1.2 million in it, then double it by 2020, took out all the money, and it's blank after that. And since we know Mr. Stevens, who is a very strict man when it comes to these things, is not saying that he left them off his account, then we can assume that he closed the account when he took the money out. So he no longer has this particular account, right? So we are making progress. We now have 6 bank accounts that he had, which he closed. So that's 6 out of the 28. Let's move along. The next one is the First Caribbean Jamaica. It's a checking account. And this one is now account number 58. None of the ones with his parents. So he opened, well, at least in 2018, he had 565,000. And he took out a little, and then he maintained it by 2020, and by 2021 he closed the account. As you can see, it's blank for 2021 and 2022. And again, Mr. Stevenson did not say that he left it off his declaration. Those were not the ones he left off the declaration. The ones he left off his declaration, which they cited him for, or sought to cite him for, making a false statement on his declarations by omission. Yes, those are 4 BNS accounts. Number 21 with his father. When he was 17, his father added him to that account. His mother opened number 64 when he was 12 years old, when Holness was 12 years old, and she added his name there. And again, she opened another account, and that is number 60. So it's 64 and 60 for his mother, 21 for his father. When she opened the one in number 60. When she opened number 60, she opened it in 1975 when he was 3.
So basically, she's saying that 2 of Andrew Holness's accounts were opened by his parents. And as Jamaicans, many of us can identify to that. I myself can identify to that because my first Scotia account was not opened by me. It was opened by my mother. And then eventually, I think I went and I opened another account. I can't even remember how that went. Or she turned over that account to me, something of the sort. But it is the practice of many Jamaican parents from then, even until now, to put their children on their bank accounts. Right? And also what I would have been gathering is that not all of them were bank accounts like from Scotia or NCB. Some of them were really investments. So the Commission of Enquiry, they have released their information, and I am happy that 411 is breaking it down in such a biteable way so that we can all understand what was said. Because at the end of the day, we don't want to play politics and we don't want opinions. What we want is facts, and numbers never lie. All right. So if you have reached thus far, please remember to just like, share, and subscribe so that my videos can reach a wider audience. Thank you, and continue to tune in.
Years old, she added his name to the account just in case anything happened to her. I don't know how the 3-year-old would get it, but anyhow, that was what she did. So those accounts now, we don't see them yet. We're going down the line though. All right, so, there they are. Oh, speak of the devils. So right below where you have the highlight in blue, you have the 3 accounts now that belongs to his mother and his father. Number 21, number 64, and 60 belongs to his mother, and his name is added. He is not the one that is maintaining that account. Most of you who are listening now will have circumstances where your own parents may have added you to their accounts, or you have your children, or your spouse, or your little significant other, and you may want to add the names. You may have some trusted relatives that you want to put on the account. You don't want your name alone to be on the account, so you put the name on it, or you put your name on the account because you want to benefit from NHT, buy a house and get a mortgage, and the 2 of you and all them kind of things there. So you know all about that, don't it? Exactly. So far, let us count how many we have. We have the 3 BNS accounts. The 3 BNS accounts at the top. One of them is a checking account, number 85, and there are 2 savings accounts, right? They are active. He opened one in 2021. The other 2 were in existence before. So far we have 3 accounts. Mark them down now, write them down, right? Don't depend on me alone, I might make mistake. We now have the 2 NCB accounts. One of the NCB accounts is a savings account, and the other one is a current account. So that would make now 2 NCB, 3 Scotiabank. My figure that I get is 5. Don't be bright. Yes, man, be bright. So that's 5 so far. And then the 3 accounts that belongs to his parents, and the name Kachan on it. So we don't count those 3 as his accounts. It belongs to his parents, just as if your name are on your parents' bank account. They are the ones who handle the account. You don't have nothing to do with any deposit or anything from it, because it's not your account unless they ask you to go and do a withdrawal of the card, right? So we have 5 Jamaican dollar accounts, right? Let me repeat, 5 Jamaican dollar accounts. But since we're dealing with accounts that he operated according to the Englishman, it means we're looking for and trying to account for those 28 bank accounts that they're creating excitement about. Let us see if there are money laundering accounts, if there were any evidence of any kind of big monies going in, big monies coming out. Let us continue to look. So what do we have so far? For the Jamaican dollar side, he has 5 accounts that's his accounts, right? There are 6 that he closed already. So that would be 11 And then there are the 4 accounts that they had found, 3 for his mother and 1 for the constituent. So that would now make it 15 out of the 28 accounts. We need to find those 13 accounts that they are creating excitement about. You agree? Yes. Let us now move down now to the bank accounts that are in US dollars. So if you were to count, you will notice that there are 6 accounts here. You have the BNS, Jamaica National Bank, First Caribbean Bank, Citibank, NCB, and First Global Bank US dollar accounts, 6 of them. However, as you can see the section that is highlighted in sky blue, the First Caribbean US dollar savings account number 40, that one, as you can see, it had small balances in it, and for 2021 and 2022 you see that it is blank. He did not declare it. So since Mr. Stevenson did not cite him for leaving them off, the conclusion that we can come to quite safely is that those accounts were closed before he submitted his statutory declarations. And draw out the money and close them. Come now use it, right? As you can see. Then the second one was the First Global Bank Savings US dollar account, and that ends in the number 73. He opened that in 2019, and then it ran until 2020, thought better of it. Seemed to be a man who decided that, I'm going to do something, and then him change his mind and decide to do something else, right? So again, 2021 and 2022 is blank, so we can safely say that he took the money out and closed that account. So that will be 2 minus the 6, and so we now end up with 4 accounts. However, let's just take a quick look. For the Bank of Nova Scotia US savings account number 20, as you can see, he put 23,000 in it, drew out most of it at the end of 2019, and he more or less have a small amount in it. He's not doing anything with it, not putting in, not taking out, and the reduction is probably the bank withdrawing their fees because it's inactive. He's not depositing and withdrawing. For the Jamaica National Bank US dollar savings account number 89, that had some activities in 2018, 2019, and 2020. Then he drew out most of the money and left only some cents in it. For the Citibank, though, he opened that account in 2019 with $2,000. At least that was what was the balance on the account at the end of the 2019 year. And he has been using that one. You can see him adding and taking money out. And in 2022, he had 9,000 in it. So he increased the amount in that account. Must have been getting good interest rate. And for the National Commercial Bank savings account number 87, you can see that he opened that account in 2021 and he hasn't done anything with it yet. So the main account that he's using and transacting his US dollar business is the Citibank, but the other 4 are still active. So he has 4 bank accounts in US dollars. Savings, you have 1, 2, 3 of them are savings accounts, and the one for Citibank is a checking account, number 68. So we had 5 accounts before, bank accounts before in the Jamaican dollar. We now have 4 bank accounts in US dollars, and when I add 5 and 4, I get 9. I don't know what you got. You got 9 too? Yes. Yes. We are bright people, We go good school, not true? That's right. So let us now do the maths about these 28 accounts, if we found them yet. Let's check. So he has 5 Jamaican accounts now that he's operating. He had 6 that he closed. In the US side, he had 2 of the 6 accounts he had operating, 2 of them closed, right? And then he still operates 4 accounts. So how much do we get? We had 15 before. We have 8 US dollars account, 4 active, and 2 closed. That's 6. And my addition says 15 and 6 gives us 21. So we have accounted for 21 in this statutory declaration that Andrew Holness submitted between 2018 and 2022, we have accounted for 21 of those accounts that you hear the investigator claiming or saying is associated with him, using these inflammatory language to suggest that these accounts are not legit, or were created for illegitimate purposes. Well, let me point out something to you. I need you to go back when this is over, when you finish watching this, and watch the one that I have that is called Statutory Declaration. That video that I did, I went into details on his 2018 up to 2020 statutory declarations, and there I show you where he was moving money from his savings account in US, or his accounts in US, and moving his own money out of the bank accounts in Jamaican, and he was buying stocks. You could see, so what you would see, that his bank accounts would decrease at the end of the year, and you notice that his stocks went up, or his US dollar accounts went up. So that is what he was doing. He was buying stocks and bonds, and the only place you're going to get money from to do those things is out of your account, or you're going to sell some of what you have already, the stocks, and buy new stocks. Also in Holness's case, what he was doing is borrowing sometimes to buy stocks. You could see from the accounts. So it's very simple to read, even though we are laypersons. You see the bank account go down, what did he do with the money? When you look, you see that the share value has gone up, the amount of money in shares. Or the US dollar amount goes up because they converted the money from Jamaican to US. Sometimes they convert from US back to Jamaican. Same thing with Mark Golding. He also spends a lot of his money and uses a lot of his monies that he has to buy shares. And it's the same thing with him. You see his bank account go down, and when you look, you see his securities gone up. That's what he did with his money, right? Or you see the share price go down, and you see the bank account come up. That's what he did with the money. He sold them and put the money in his account. That's not difficult. That's simple analysis. So we just went through the schedule of the total assets that Andrew Holness declared. That was prepared by the Director of Investigations. He prepared it and included it into the report that everybody else is reading from. Now I know you must be wondering, so where them get this thing about 28 accounts from? Well, as you can see, this is paragraph 1.6 in the Integrity Commission's report that they put out on Andrew Holness recently. And I'm going to read it for you. It says here, this is the Director of Investigation speaking now, Kevin Stevenson. Having regard to the second referral, this referral now is the referral a second time for making false statements on his statutory declaration by omission. You remember when they found the 4 accounts, 3 belonging to his parents and 1 belonging to a constituent with his name on it. That's the second referral. That was it. And that was what triggered the second investigation. The illicit enrichment matter came up after that in the course of that investigation. All right? So let me go again. Having regard to the second referral, the Director of Investigations investigation led him to examine over 3,600 transactions in respect of approximately 28 bank accounts which either were or are presently associated with Mr. Holness. Now we know presently associated with Mr. Holness are 9 accounts. Right? You remember that? 5 accounts in Jamaican dollars and 4 accounts denominated in United States currency. You remember that? Right. The other 12 accounts of that amount, 10 of them were closed by him and 2 were dormant. Eventually, those 2 dormant accounts were closed as well. So all 12 accounts were closed between the period 2018 and 2021. Legitimate accounts that he was receiving his dividends from his trading that he was doing in stocks and shares and bonds. Those were the accounts that the money was being deposited into. And that is the reason why you haven't heard the DI say that there's anything wrong with those accounts. He just dropped in the fact that he checked 28 bank accounts that was associated with him and just left it so. So this is the source of this business about the 28 bank accounts. That is now being hyped up to give the impression to the entire country that somehow there's something wrong with that. Right? As you can see, 21 of them, and you were able to look at the balances in 21 of them. You saw them. You saw the ones that were dormant. You saw the ones that he was not utilizing, putting money in and out, and you saw the ones that he was actively using, right? And he just left the others. Like so many of us have things that we just leave the others. We may ready for it, or we close them whenever we don't want them anymore, right? Nothing illegitimate at all about these accounts. Nothing. His U.S. accounts were receiving the dividends from the stocks and bonds that he invested in. From time to time, he was switching between U.S. accounts and Jamaican accounts, depending on, I suppose, what he intends to buy. When he does that, when you look, you see the securities in that currency going up. So he's speculating and gambling, as I said before in my other video that I did, statutory declarations. That was what I saw, and that was why I made so much money. It's all very risky because he can lose his shirt, but he clearly has somebody good that is managing his portfolio of investments. So you must be wondering now, all right, so we accounted for 21 bank accounts. What about the other 7? Well, I think we found them. As you can see here in D, it says between January 2021 and December 23, 2022, Mr. Holness was the sole signatory on the 2 bank accounts owned by Positive Media. So one of the companies in question, that one of the 3 companies, he was the sole signatory on that account up to 2022. So 21 and 2, that makes it 23. We need 5 more. Okay, so we also know that he was the sole signatory on the charity as well, Positive Jamaica Foundation Limited. You remember that? Good. So we are now at 24 accounts, so we need now only 4 more. And so here we go at last. The information is right there in the report. And as you can see from table 16, which is inter-network deposits and withdrawals by bank account, 2020 to 2023, we are looking at the NCB bank accounts. The capital market, those are not bank accounts. So there are 6 of them. We already accounted for Imperium. We have 2 NCB accounts for Estate Bridge, which now bring the bank account counts to 26. So we haven't seen what 2 is. Maybe they were closed as well before 2018. So what we're looking at here is his personal accounts, 9. He closed some accounts, 12 that he had that he wasn't using anymore. And he has these business accounts. He has the one for the charity, which is 1 we can account for so far. And he also has 2 each for Estate Bridge and Positive Media. And when you add the parents' accounts as well as the constituent, those 4 accounts, then you get the total of 26. I don't see any evidence here of money laundering. I don't see anything illegal. And the forensic expert that they hired and paid a lot of money for didn't see anything either. And search as he may, the director of investigation couldn't find anything either. As for the business about the money moving between the companies, well, that is something that I would need to look into to see if there's anything to be excited about in that regard. Okay, so that's it for me today. Thank you so much for joining me, liking the video, sharing, subscribing, and leaving your comment.